Come on, you got this. Let's rise, let's shine.
Hello, amazing people. So here we are talking about, as my shirt can say, empowered woman. So we're talking about empowered women, and we have the amazing Natalia. Hi, Natalia.
Hi, thanks for having me, Jacqui.
You're welcome. So one of the reasons that I've invited Natalia on here, and you're going to see throughout all the videos that we share about empowered women and the Positive Impact Project, is that I've known Natalia for some time. She actually wrote amazing articles for my magazine, and we met at a women's networking event. So it's been a great journey, and Natalia's been very patient with me as we've gone through things. But I also share about why I see Natalia as an empowered woman in my book. Now, if you want to really know all about that, then you're going to have to get the book, and that's coming out the 8th of May. All going to plan. So ADHD behave. So I wanted to bring Natalia on and hear from her why she's what her business name is. So I already know it, but I want her to share it with people. And also, Natalia, why did you start this business, and also the name?
Yep. So my business is called Inner Creative, and it's evolved over the years. So in terms of how I started it back in the day, it was I was actually working strategic planning in government and was on maternity leave, and I actually rang them up to say, hey, can I actually extend my maternity leave? I've got, my oldest is about to start school, just a few months. And they go, funnily enough about that, we're actually going to renew because government's doing a major restructure and your division will be going soon and you'll have to reapply for your job. And it will be full-time, and we're not doing any backfill, so you'd have to start straight away. And yeah, would you like to apply? And I'm like, well, you've just made that decision for me, because I was currently working like 2.5 days part-time and wanted to extend. So I was like, all right, well, looks like I'll be taking a package then. So we worked out the details. I extended my leave, went back, did redeployment, and just at the time it was really difficult to find a job because government were cutting staff numbers, and so consultants were they were holding tight too. So they were like, no, sorry, we don't have any room for you. So it's just funny what sort of options we give ourselves. So I said, well, I'll just have to create my own job then. So I basically said, all right, I'll just start a business then. So I was a bit naive, and I probably wouldn't have started it otherwise, I don't think. But I went, well, I've got, some money saved, and, let's try. And they were saying, well, we might take you on as a contractor. So I thought, all right, well, maybe I'll just become a contractor. And then it was actually during my maternity leave, people were reaching out to me and saying, hey, could you coach me around creativity, or could you coach me on this? And I was coaching people already in my previous role. So I went, creativity, there's something in that. And I really enjoyed all the creativity training. And so I thought, all right, let's do this. I'll get a training and assessment certificate, and then I'll train people in creativity. And so literally how I picked the name of my business is I had a whole big sheet of all of these different names around creativity, and Inner Creative was the only one that had, I could register it, and it had a website that was available. So it sort of picked me. It picked me in the end, and so it actually quite aligns. So yeah, what I do now is really different to how I started, and I was initially teaching people creativity courses, and just went the market, and decided I really need a plan. And so I thought, well, I'll create my own. I've done strategic planning, and then did a visual plan, and went to a networking, and somebody's like, where'd you get that? And I was like, oh, I just made it myself. And they're like, can you teach me? And so that's, in a sense, my business has evolved from that. But essentially now I call myself a strategic alignment coach. So really it's about Yeah, so aligning, so the sort of three elements I work with my clients around are their intentions, because you've got,
Mhm.
yeah, I'll say them first, but
Yeah.
intentions, actions, and then beliefs. Yeah. So
Ah,
when you
interesting.
align those, then,
Yeah.
yeah, then you can create change. So, yes,
Yeah.
that's how my business has evolved.
Right. And if you were to think about your clients' feedback, and by the way, I'm really intrigued by the order of those three things. Because as you know, I've done the rebrand with ISOARe to ISOARe, and it's very strategically planned the way things are said. So I'm very drawn to that. But if you were to think about the clients that you've worked with over the years, um, what would be something that they've fed back to you about the work that you do?
Yeah, look, someone's actually described me as compassion with insight. So
Mm?
that's somebody in my feedback form, and I was like, oh, that's just so lovely. And
Yeah,
yeah, so people feeling empowered. Essentially, the work that I do, it just helps people align with who they are, really, and give them
yeah,
permission to do that. So
yeah,
yeah, so I try and create that sort of nurturing space, that safe space where people can feel that they can try, test things, and essentially, yeah, have permission to try what they really want to do
yeah.
rather than what they think they should be doing.
Oh, I did a post on that not long ago about, are you actually doing what you want to do and what's right for you, or are you doing something that other people and I think that because a lot of the work that I do now is similar to you. I mean, I've always done it, but I was just
Yeah.
brave enough to actually go, yes, this is actually it. And like, because I felt stuck in NDIS alone. NDIS is very important, people. I'm not saying it's not, but there was a lot more work. And one of the things, and we talk about this in the book Embodied Woman, is identity. It's in one of the first couple of chapters are actually quite heavy. Like as I've gone through them, I'm going, oh, maybe I shouldn't have started here. But it's a journey, right? It's like
Mm.
you have your practice of, we start here, then we go to here, and then we go to here, and and the whole being, giving yourself permission to be you, I think is a huge part of empowerment, and it's got to start with us, because you could empower me and I could empower you, but if we're not quite ready for it, there's going to be a little bit of resistance even if we don't know. So I
Yeah.
love that approach. Now, you did the ISOARe business personality profile quiz. In fact, I made you do it twice. The first time we sat
Happy
at my
to.
thank you. So I'll just tell people the story. So that Natalia came by my house, and I have to say you have been a very big gift in my life. I don't think I've fully expressed that. And Natalia knows the health journey that I've been on as well. So she came to my house and I said, hey, can I take you through this quiz? She went, sure. And one of the things is with the quiz is I always try to have rapid fire, but it doesn't always work. But you did really well, and you got one result. And then I asked you to do it in the format that it's in now, and I don't think much has changed. Now, could you share? I'm not going to share, but could you share with those that are watching what was the difference, if you picked any difference, and the outcome of both?
Well, in terms of the difference, I think, well, probably it was different because I had you there. So I probably was more inclined to ask you questions. And I suppose I wanted to do it right and do you justice as well. So I was very careful to go, all right, is this an accurate reflection of my business? And I suppose also at that time, I think you were tweaking some of your questions. So for me as well, it was like, I'm a sole business owner. So some of the things around meetings and working with teams, it was like, my team in a sense are probably either other collaborators or
Mm.
they're my clients. Like I work with them in a collaborative way. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was handy having you there the first time to go, yeah, this is how you see it if you're, working for yourself. and also to keep in mind your business, not me, if that makes sense. So that was handy. And so I suppose when I did it the second time, it was a lot easier because I did have that sort of background going, fill it out as myself. And the other thing was, there were a lot of times I was like, oh, there's like one or two that are really close. And then I just remember back to you saying, all right, just pick the word or which resonates the most. And so, so there's a few times I'm like, oh, it's like a tie. But funnily enough, I got the same result. So I got relationship builder. So, very,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'd just be very interested to see what the next one was. But I think because I ended up probably skewing towards that every time over more the sort of creative, innovative sort of skew. So, it'd be interesting to go back and just go, no, I'll go with the other one and see what that would have done.
Well, and it's free, right? So if you want to play with it, then sure, go ahead. And and we have got it set so the answers aren't always in the exact same position, because as with anything, people can keep going and thinking, oh, right, so if I answer this second one all the time or whatever, like, and then how is it different? And it's all part of protecting my IP, even though we've trademarked it now, so I'm happy to have it out there a lot more. Yeah, that was a big step. It was a big investment financially and a big step, but I wanted something different. And also, if you haven't done the quiz, then check the links below or the description wherever you see this video. We will get together, Natalia, at some point and take you through that unique success code. We have talked about that, and now the memberships are almost fully set up now. I've revamped those, and so now that you know that you're a relationship builder, and in the business owner membership, it talks to healthy boundaries, and then as a business owner. And then it talks about, well, as an innovator, you would do this, or as a relationship builder, you would do this. And a lot of that has come about because of your feedback to me about things and about, because when you do the quiz, you've got this piece of information, which I think is quite a lot at the end. But now what do you do with it?
Yeah.
And we created the songs as well, which was a bit of fun. So I've written now 22 songs. And found I created all the music. But so thank you for doing the quiz twice.
My pleasure.
And so I'll just talk to the unique success code a little bit, because once you get that primary personality profile and when you and I work together with it, we're going to actually explore that secondary one. And then what we do is we go through, so not to give out too much information, but we go through some core aspects that are not listed in the results, such as some traits and some strengths. And then what we do is we go through what we call Phoenix activation, which is really bringing it in and running it through a slightly different filter, so not staying so cognitive, but bringing it into our heart, saying, this is still right for me. And then we go into a being part, so for me with being, it's being present, but it's also the emotions, because we can always do, and we can have awareness of doing, but, how did we feel? Like before I was racing around, had to hang the washing out and I'm like, okay, what state am I being in? Yeah, frustrated, because why am I hanging out the washing when I've got things to do? Not really, people. I just went and did it. But what are we being, and who are we being? And the what is can be more emotional state. So that part, and then we go into implementation. So how do you implement your unique success code? And a huge part of that is that at the end of it, it's like a blueprint and a map. And when you apply it to your life, but then we don't want to leave you hanging. We don't want to leave you over there going, okay, I've got this, and that was a lot of information, because it is. It's a big session to go through all of that. We are going to be doing events to take people through this, just in a slight variation. And one of the biggest things is that people have fed back to me, like you did. Where do I go now? What happens that I've got this now? So that's why we created the membership. And people can join the membership either before or after that journey, but just somewhere else to just have that little bit of a reminder, that little bit of a, yeah, I'm okay. I've got, and like you said, you had questions. So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that support element. And I suppose that's why in terms of even my work, like I have, the various elements that I support people through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. So now that we've got through all that, so if somebody was to come and work with you, and we're going to put your details up there, down there, wherever in the description. I don't know if it's up in the top or if it's down the bottom, but just check it out. Look for it; they'll be there. So in terms of people coming to work with you, how could they? Like they can just go to your website, and then what sort of, like, is it like I've just described the unique success code, 1-to-1 or 1-to-many? Is it 1-to-1? Is it 1-to-many? Like, could you share a little bit of that, please?
Yeah. So in terms of what I do is that I use a whole lot of creative and reflective tools. So that's why there's the inner creative, because I believe that when we're slowing down, getting out of our heads, doing something, drawing, whether it's drawing, building Lego, collaging, using anything that uses metaphor, symbols, color, imagery, we're tapping into that right side of the brain. And so we're thinking more expansively. So I do work, one-on-one and in group settings, but helping people to slow down, to get out of that mental chatter noise that might be happening, reconnect with what actually matters, and then, moving forward. So also that accountability piece. So in terms of what there's so many different things I do. So that's why I was like, the innovator. There's so many different things. I go, I should create that. So I have sort of two arms to my offerings. So I actually draw myself. So I draw mandalas. So I thought I just bring this one. So this is one of my cards. I don't know.
Just a little bit more towards your face, just so that we can.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want you back, but that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all good. So this one is actually based on the heart chakra. So extend, and the message is, so every time I draw something, I also create a message around it. So the message for this one is, open up the expanse of your heart to love. The possibilities are only limited by your perception. So a lot of the tools, so I draw a lot of mandalas. I have heart cards, heart deck around self-care. So the idea being that I use my creative outlet in a sense, and I supplement that. So I support my clients. I'll intuitively pick a product for them, or they can go obviously to my website and create and get the actual products. But normally working with me, there's some sort of creative element in there. And as I said, so it's the intentions, actions, and beliefs. So what I was finding is initially I'd help people set their goals creatively, and then and then they're like not doing it. So I'd go, all right, let's bring some accountability in there. And so so you could do the goal setting, you could do vision boarding with me, but then all right, one-on-one accountability or group accountability. And then the third piece was like, right, you're doing the action, but maybe you're not doing the right action, or you're doing too much and you're burning out, or or it's just not the right fit, or you're sabotaging yourself. So that's where the beliefs came in, and that's where I now use a process called Psych-K. So it's a belief change facilitation process. So that's another way people can work one-on-one with me. And so that's if you're doing all the things, you've set your goal, you're doing all the things, and it's still not working, then maybe there's a part of you subconsciously that doesn't believe it's possible, or that you're not worthy of it, or there's something else in the way. And so that's where I work in that way. So there's a whole raft of different things that they can do with me. So whether or not it's one-on-one Psych-K, it's, one-on-one accountability, or a vision boarding session, or I've now just opened up it's the time of creating new things, I think, Jacqui. So I've just created the Reflection Circle, which is a membership. So people,
Oh, no.
I intuitively select a mandala theme for the month and then create resources around that, including a colouring page. So,
Nice.
and then there'll be a 1 hour session during that month where you can either come and colour in that colouring page with everybody, or you can journal, or you can just do something else creative that just helps you drop in and reconnect with yourself and your own wisdom. So yeah, lots of different things, Jacqui. That's
I love it.
where I was like, oh, innovator.
Yeah, as I said, I haven't gone back in and looked at your results this morning. I'm actually kind of glad I haven't, because I will look back on this video and we'll go, was I right? I'll post a comment whether I was right or wrong. I'm usually pretty spot on with it, and the app that we use for it's a pretty good app. Like I do need to tweak a few things because my business has just grown so much in what we're doing. Not so much with people, but okay, awesome. I love all of that. And if you want to work with Natalia, as I said, just check out her links wherever it is. Probably in the comment section will be a lot, but in descriptions on YouTube. Okay, so I have another question for you. If you want to think back to any age as a young child, so young Natalia, whatever age you want that comes up for you, and then you as the Natalia now, what would you say to her about moving forward in her life? And so it could be a message of, you did a great job there, or like, what, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but just that message for little Natalia, and especially now that you're a business owner, so you came that adversity where you were put on the spot, like, yep, sorry, don't have a job anymore. It's like, oh, now I do. But it's really worked out for you. So any message for little Natalia?
So, little Natalia, I would actually say keep your creativity going, because I think that's the hard thing. Like, growing up, we're experimenting, we try new things, we follow our bliss, so to speak, and what brings us joy. And then, we'll go to certain classes or certain, and certain teachers or certain other people around us will go, oh, no, you can't do that, or you're not good at that, or maybe you should be better at that. And so it's really interesting that, like I was, my graphic design teacher wanted me to keep going with graphic design. I really loved art, but I couldn't draw like, someone's face. I couldn't do any representational art. And so I didn't know that, hey, it can be abstract.
Yes.
So I didn't really I sort of shut down a lot of options for myself. So I think I just tell my earlier self, like, just to back yourself a bit more and just to trust that what feels good to you is there for a reason, and the gifts and talents we have, like, to nurture them, and that other people aren't always right. So that's just somebody else's opinion. And like one art teacher could have said, you can't draw, but hey, I'm now doing all of these other products now, and people are like, you are an artist. And I'm like, but like high school Natalia didn't think that, she was that good at it. And it was only something I came to later. So, but then, I suppose trusting that spark's always there. So it'll eventually come out. So, I did a detour through engineering. So, it's all good. It's all added to what I do now. So it all works out.
That strategic, planning and all of that has come into it as well. So I think even sometimes in our worst experiences, and I'm not saying that people deserve to have, trauma or anything like that. Like, we're not saying that that's okay, but even in those moments, and I think back to the trauma that I've been through, there was always, like, what I've taken from that is my resilience to just keep showing up, because, and especially the last 2 years, as you know, it would just be so easy just to give up. And at times I've wanted to. At times I've been so sick. I'm like, yeah, nope, I'm done. But here we are, and I think that I think if the listeners or the viewers can really go back and listen to what Natalia was just telling her young Natalia, which is really also a message for all people, including women that are struggling, and women that maybe have lost their identity for whatever reason, to come back to that empowerment. That message applies to those as well. So it's a beautiful message. Thank you.
Oh, and I've got to say, Jacqui, like, hats off to you, because seriously, what you've gone through and that you've kept going, it's just amazing. So, yeah, congratulations for everything you've created. And yeah, you're an absolute dynamo.
Oh, thank you. Like, my coach said something like that the other day. I went, oh, I haven't done all these things. I needed to nap. And she went, oh, you actually rested? It's like, yeah, I did. But yes, no, thank you. I appreciate you. And I appreciated you being part of Connect and Grow magazine. That was not an easy decision to stop there, but we were all putting in so much work, and yeah. And lesson learnt there too. Like, if I was to do that again, that would be different. The magazine quality, like, I walked into a coffee shop the other day, and some of the magazines are still sitting there. So
Yay.
that's cool. That means that people, and Connect and Grow magazine website's still up, so people can still go and view things. I just haven't really pushed it, but yeah. Is there any last messages that you would like to give anyone that's watching this, especially women, to help them feel empowered?
Well, I think I actually want to go back to sort of that relationship builder aspect. And so how I sort of see it playing out in my business and how I run it. So for me, yeah, building customer loyalty, having the trust of people that work with me, considering I am, like, in a sense, in their business, you know, helping them work out, you know, where to from here. Having that trust is really important to me. But I thought it's really interesting, like, how we met, Jacqui, like, at networking. And so that's where I find a lot of my clients come, you know, through all partnerships, collaborators. There's been so many times I've been sitting at a table somewhere and mentioned, oh, this is what I do. And they're like, oh, I've got to work with you, you know, or tell me more, or that sounds, you know. And so for me, in terms of, I suppose, feedback for people wanting to get more out of ISOARe, like, yeah, definitely use it in how you approach, like, building your business, and use it as, oh yeah, that's why that works, you know. Like, I hadn't necessarily planned to go, yeah, I need to go and network, but when I look back, I go, oh yeah, actually all of those really good connections that have supported my business, whether not through clients or through collaborators, have done that. So thanks, Jacqui.
Oh, thank you. And I just ADHD brain. I had a thought to that, and it's just totally gone. Yeah, no, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I was actually thinking of that event. Oh, Lego play. Yes, I'm like, oh, I have to do Lego play with Natalia. That's what I was thinking about, because we did the I'm trying to think the last time I was at one of the events, and you led the session, and I think it was like goals and that. So yeah, it was a good session. I'm hoping to get back to those networking events. I just, the last 12 months has been really hard. So yeah, but thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Lego serious play. Always happy to run you through something. It's I could talk about all the different tools and just the amazing things that they bring out in people, because I think, when we get to play, and as I said, using different part of my brain, color, and having fun, we get so many more insights, I think, than just sitting with a whiteboard and writing a list and brainstorming that sort of way. So,
no, definitely. Well, it's been great having you on. It's been great having you part of the journey, and for those watching this, and if it's after the 8th of May, please check out the book. We'll be going back to all our videos and adding the link to the book. At the end of this video, you'll see the cover of the book. But it's just been really good to have you here, and good to see you again. I feel like I haven't seen you for so long. So thank you. I so appreciate you being part of my journey.
Oh, thanks, Jacqui, for having me along. I'm really excited to see what you do.
Thank you. Okay, guys, we'll leave it there.